Perfect. All right, got word we now are officially live here at the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats. Day 2, Bikini Bottoms, Dyersburg, Tennessee. It is officially turned into a good time here. We've got Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. We had Guns N' Roses. We had Black Betty playing.
We have Matt Holt.
We have Matt Holt entering the studio. So we are excited to be back, and we are excited to bring you Hills 2 for the UTV Bounty and the Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup. It's going to be a great day. We did not televise it, but I can tell you that it is recorded. I sat and watched all of the RC racing. Awesome course. Hill, Ninja, Curtis Hazard did an excellent job building those courses for us, and we're happy to have Curtis on board with us today. The overcast coming back in and just got a nice chilly air come through, but between sunshine,
it's just teasing us today.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's been really great though.
You get about 10 minutes of cold when you realize it's cold, and then it goes back to about 10 minutes of warm, and it goes back and forth. And if you can't tell, I've switched over to my RCV Performance t-shirt, so I am Team RCV today. It is top and bottom matching.
I am Team Off-Road Vixens and
what does that shirt say?
SRS. But did you die?
But did you die? The first time I took my wife out, we were just started dating, and at the time I had a UTV rock bouncer, it was a little 2-seat trail rig, and we hit what's called the wall at West Point in Tennessee, Tennessee. And basically, I just stayed in the gas the entire time because I wasn't exactly sure how the obstacle was going to go, how you're supposed to drive it. I mean, it's probably a 100-foot long, pretty steep hill that you have a lot of chance to gain some momentum. And I didn't want there to be any issues. I wanted to make sure that we made it to the top. So I stayed in the gas the entire time. We got upwards of probably 8-10 feet of air out the top of that one and came back down completely on the nose. And the only real thing I remember is I immediately got out of the machine and was like, woo! Like did, the whole 9 yards, and I did not even check on my then girlfriend, now wife. And
was she traumatized?
She knows what this sport can be like, and what it doesn't have to be every single time. So now we're much more trail riders, enjoy Windrock trails, enjoy riding some smoother stuff, little less gas pedal and a little less hills, and we have a good time. So, Bree, did you get a chance to grab some lunch from some of the vendors around here?
No, I grabbed lunch at Love's Truck Stop this morning the way here.
That's right.
And ate it while I watched the RC race with my nephew and my brother who made it out today.
Awesome family environment out here. I see, the entire crowd. It's kind of funny. We have like a little pit in our spectator area, and it's just shirtless children and shirtless, shoeless children running around, and they're all playing, having fun, getting dirty, and having a great time.
They're having the best time.
This is it. These are the memories that you make for a lifetime. I see kids out with RC cars. I saw the adult RC class. Really, it was a cool hill. I'm excited for you guys to catch that recording.
Yeah, Curtis did a good job.
Yeah, so the part of the course, which is actually just to my left, you can't see it. They've kind of cleaned everything up here. I ran it before he cut it, and it was a fun. It was very challenging. But the way he cut zigzags in, put a few rocks in there, made the long hill climbs. It's really cool because on the RC scale, it's 1/10 the size of a regular machine. So you can build in a ton of obstacles really easily and build a course that you have to maneuver your way through. Our RC class will be at every single event for the National Rock Racing Association. We have a stock class and an unlimited class, and you can come race. But we're back to racing at UTV Bounty.
That's no RC, folks. That's Ethan Martin.
And Ethan Martin left that starting line with a passion to finish this hill. Very nice. Yeah, it definitely sounds like the bugs are worked out of that motor for sure. I know Ethan was pretty upset not being able to finish Hill 1. None of our UTVs finished Hill 1, but it looks like...
Whoa!
Buddy!
Wait.
Hey, don't move. Stay right there.
That's a good spot to land. Good spot for a nap, as always. Now, I'll tell you this. If you didn't catch it, Hill 2, the thing that makes it different from Hill 1 in the UTV Bounty Series is Hill 2. They are not running Fable Hill. They're going to run that long dirt climb, and they're actually going to run, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to run out of the top where Hill 1 for the bouncers came out. So very cool to see that we're doing a little bit of a different line. And again, one of the really cool things about Bikini Bottoms is it offers a super wide variety of options. I'm excited to see us climbing some dirt hills. That our insect friends have joined us back in the production trailer as well.
Are they our friends? That's a strong word.
That brief little monologue, we had a bee come pretty close to us, and yesterday we were fighting wasps and bees and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the wasps disappeared today though, so
yeah, they don't enjoy the good weather.
All right with that. All right, well, let me add another DNF here.
Unfortunate.
I don't know if I've ever written down this many in a row for our poor UTV bounding class.
Really, really unfortunate. As of right now, there are 0 points for the UTV bounding series class. I don't remember the last time that I saw something like this where we just had no finishers. I mean, normally we've had, maybe one, maybe a handful, 2 or 3 guys, but no finishers so far for the UTV bounding class. Very interesting stuff. And as you can see, I can hear it. It looks like Ethan's being uprighted, and we're going to get him off the race course. And
do we know how many vehicles are broken after Hill 1?
I would say more than half.
Yeah.
Now, how many were actually able to get the repair? Not sure. But we can see Ethan Martin coming down the hill behind us. Glad that it was just kind of a little nap time rollover, no breakage or anything like that. So Ethan will be happy to be able to load it on the trailer later.
All right. Kyle says, can his daughter get an early happy birthday? She turns 8 next Saturday.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
8. That's a good age. Fun age.
My daughter turns 8 this year, and I cannot explain to you how excited. The older she gets, the more fun stuff we can do. She got a 4-wheeler here a few years ago. She's finally kind of come into being the right size for it. It was raining in our neighborhood, and I let her take it out, and I taught her how to power slide and really hit the brakes and bring the rear end around. Well, needless to say, the one day that mom's out there watching with a brand new baby and it's wet, and I said, hey, show your mom how good you've gotten on the 4-wheeler. Her impression or her understanding of that was, hey, let me go full throttle, get as fast as I can get this little tiny 4-wheeler going, and let me slam on the rear brakes and turn while I do it. Needless to say, we ended up with a 4-wheeler rollover. My daughter was able to somehow Spider-Man jump off of it, totally fine.
Wow.
But not what mom wants to see the first time she comes outside. So
yeah, my dad didn't let us have any 4-wheelers around until I was 20.
That's not.
I have an older brother.
Yeah, not a bad.
And my dad was a daredevil in his day, as you can imagine. Anyone that ends up racing these things.
Certainly.
I'm sure he did all kinds of junk on motorcycles and stuff growing up. So with an older brother, and we didn't have anything that didn't have a roll cage on it until I was 20 years old.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of the most important things that you can do is if you wreck something like a 4-wheeler or a dirt bike. Now, this is within reason, and this is not life advice. Don't take what I'm saying seriously. You have to get back on the machine after the wreck, or else you become afraid, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was, after the rollover, I showed her why it happened. We put it up for the day, and then it dried up, and last week she was actually out running around.
There you go.
A little timid, obviously, but
she'll get back to it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've had horses since I was 9, though, and I don't think that's any safer than driving a 4-wheeler.
I have a theory about horses, and it's basically that they're a motorcycle with their own brain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not interested. I want to be in full control. So I've been on horses, been trail riding. I think I got on a horse that was 16 hands tall and trail riding with him. And he put me between him and a tree one time, and I was I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good on horses.
Yeah, my horses have pulled some shenanigans over the years too, but no roll cage there. Life's about balance, right? Neil, the next race is going to be at Mid-America in Oklahoma, and that will be April 23rd and 24th. We will be live next weekend at Rush for the Pro Rock event. Jesse will not be there. It will be me and Aaron holding down the fort. So you guys will be seeing our faces, or well, my face again.
A little bit of a
next
different face on my end.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing somebody's face next weekend. Next 2 weekends in a row. It'll be 3 weekends in a row.
So they'll be racing
today.
3 weekends in a row, and unfortunately, I have confirmed this week that it looks like there's going to be a work conflict for me at Mid-America, so I will not be in attendance for the Mid-America race either. I'll be rejoining us back when we're at Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park May 7th and 8th.
I don't know. We might have replaced you by then, Jesse.
It's possible. It's very possible, and I understand. But
I kid.
I hope to be back at Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park here on May 7th and 8th. I will have my UTV there. I'll be taking challenges on the short course. 0% chance of beating everybody, 100% chance of fun. So come out and have a good time.
Maybe I'll bring the 4-seater out.
We could have a host, a race off. So I've got a little 1000 XP, 2-seater. She's got a turbo 4-seat. It might balance out there somehow. But off the line here today is Cash in the dismissed buggy.
Yeah, that was Quill. That's right.
I kind of love the line that they're taking right there.
And you have to at this point. You got to go high. It's turned into such a ledge at the top of that notch.
And that mud puddle down there has just gotten to soak in.
It's not dried up at all.
Very nice.
Oh.
Come over down the seat, man.
All right, we got Danny with some handy advice again. That is the Danny Smith and the one and only Bobby Tanner up there. Double duty today as drivers and handy recovery crew.
This is a situation where you probably want to go a little later because if you see, that's a hard ledge. Obviously, he's bottomed out there. Front tires aren't touching, rear tires aren't touching. But what happens is when you go after a few people who kind of dig it out like that, one of two things can happen. The rut can get deeper on the front side and it can make it a way harder lip to get over, or they can kind of smooth off that ledge and make it where you can really slide up there. Cash put a lot of momentum and a lot of skinny pedal there at the bottom, so I think they're encouraging him to bounce it out, but little Cash is
I don't know what they think. Cash is pint size. He's not going to be rocking that buggy at all.
Cash is under 100, I would imagine. Maybe 100 and some change. A little bit of funny bad luck there for Cash. But back to us. We're going to get some recovery here on Mr. Cash LaCroix as he's getting there. As you can see, the recovery vehicle is already up there, so it'll be a DNF for Cash. That's a really unfortunate DNF, but a funny one, no doubt.
Cash does not want to give up.
Now, I think they're going to go ahead and time Cash out. It doesn't look like he's going to get out of there.
Oh, man.
But it is kind of funny. Sometimes those extra pounds, when you shift them, look at that sunlight on us, where we are just in the sun and the background was all shadowy. Very interesting lighting here. I like commenting on the lighting because the clouds moving across, it's so cool. We'll be lit up. The hills will be lit up. Certain spots of the hills will be lit up. It's kind of cool how nature does a little spotlighting for us. And I'm going to point out to one of our producers, Jeremy, who has there's a guest in the production trailer who's following him pretty closely. It seems that our Wasps friends are back for possibly vengeance. So we will try and get
for the ones that I killed yesterday. Don't hit it this way.
We will try and get some of them out of our way here. But
all right, he's gone.
Thanks for joining us. We're doing a little bit of recovery out here. This is the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats, and we are currently a few drivers into our UTV bounty class. So far, hill number 2 has been a bounty.
I can see the shadow of this wasp just like hovering over us.
Yes. But a beautiful day here. It turned out to be in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
I'm not going to lie. When it was hailing last night and
doubts.
the thunder was so loud, I was in the hotel. Jesse was in Walmart and the power went out for a split second in town and the crack of thunder was so loud. I texted you, it was just like, holy crap.
Yeah. And when I had gotten back to the hotel, I'd actually ran into some of our other staff's room and hunkered down with them because, you know, a lot of really bad weather came through last night for a very short period of time. But as we're getting this kicked off, we just finished up the recovery. I think we have the next driver probably on the line very soon. I'd like to take one more chance, introduce myself. I think we're getting to the point where if you're a regular watcher of the show, you kind of have an idea who I am. My name is Jesse Williams. It's my first season out here with the National Rock Racing Association, and I'm very happy to be here. I host the Racing on the Rocks podcast, where I talk to drivers, manufacturers, people in the off-road business, and you get anywhere from an hour to 3 hours of uninterrupted information about your favorite drivers. All that stuff is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Just search Racing on the Rocks. Now,
this driver probably doesn't need much of an introduction. That is Paul Wolf, who just aired it out and totally launched himself off the starting line. Tough luck up there. There it is, high line.
So, our bouncer class ran, and what was a pretty easy obstacle that most drivers were making it through has now turned into something fairly hard. Paul is taking the wild man line. I like it. Now here comes the hard part. Paul Wolf is going to have to take on the Yukon wall.
Oh, barely missing that flag. Nice.
That front right tire is not pulling.
That's a little bit of a precarious spot right there. There he is, that's better.
Now,
he is just taking whatever line he has to get to the top right now.
I was just about to say the UTV side of this. Oh, that's a belt.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. It's a smoked belt. So basically all these cars are CVT clutch driven belt systems, and 99.5% chance that he just gassed it and just had his belt for lunch. But look at that.
Nice.
Able to let the belt cool
With the
off
finish.
and get squared back in. Paul Wolf is back and going to finish hill number 2. That is our first UTV time for the day.
4.540, Paul Wolf, but more importantly that, he climbed all the hills.
Congratulations to Mr. Wolf. Now, I have to say, broken right front axle there temporarily. Smoking belt.
114.540.
Not necessarily a ruined belt, but like definitely that belt was slipping up there. That's what that big puff of smoke was. And hats off to Paul Wolf. Really, I mean, it wasn't the cleanest run I've ever seen in my life, but it's going to be our time for the day. Paul Wolf sitting in first place for the entire day. And the reason I can say that is Hill 1 times, they don't count because they were all DNFs.
Because there were none.
Whoever finishes highest on Hill 2 is going to take the cake for today. Now here's a very, very stout competitor for Mr. Wolf. This is Mr. Wade. Tell you what, I don't know if you guys can see it on the live feed, but that engine, those motor mounts are jumping. That engine is moving inside that chassis right there. That's
nice.
all wet. It's all slick. It hasn't really been touched other than Paul Wolf this weekend. That's fresh dirt.
Wade. All right, Wade's just putting on a show now.
Third time's the charm, right?
All right, here it is.
That is not the way you would like to go down right there.
Oh!
What a show by Wade.
Now he's getting a little ticked.
What a show being put on here.
Today, just the way that the dirt is getting chewed up at the top of that Yukon wall, just with 3 UTVs on it already today. 2 UTVs.
Almost touched that flag. All right, 4th attempt at the exit point of this hill. He's really thinking about how he wants to get out of here this time.
Uh-oh.
That's not...
We have seen plenty of buggies roll over at the top of this hill, too. There it is!
Yeah!
No! Ah! I don't know if you guys can hear the crowd right now, but they are fully invested in what Wade is doing. Yeah! Woo, man!
What a run! What a show!
That's a 229.862.
229.862.
Now, I'll say this.
Wow.
If there is a better show today, they're gonna have to provide snacks, because that was amazing.
Man, way to stick with it, Wade.
Yeah, I'm trying to sit here and think. We had 3 attempts. He came all the way back down the hill, hit the Yukon wall twice, had issues coming off the wall the second time, got out there, his buggy stalled on him 3 or 4 times to that run, almost went up there and did it again, found the right line, took it out, came back down, out the exit. Wade Good putting on a...
And of course, we've been saying it, but I mean, the cameras, that top of the hill doesn't look like all that much on camera, but that is a tough spot. We have seen many, many, many rollovers right up there at the finish line from big bouncers before, let alone the UTVs.
Now, I can tell you that on the line, taking off here, it looks like Spencer Grindstaff.
Ask me who it was.
Spencer Grindstaff taking out for us here. That'll be a hard act to follow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Try going more lighter and faster. Try that. Okay, even more rider.
Man, the part of the course that was, well, the easy part this morning
yeah, and yesterday
has now just added to the difficulty of the obstacles out here today. Oh.
I thought that was going to be it.
I think he's going to have to go higher, further to the right.
I think it's really a mind obstacle here, a mind block, if you will, for you to go really far right, because this whole hill, it's just going to
throw you back down.
Looks like he's got it. It did not look like he has it, though.
Wait, and there it is.
Very nice. Pirouette, correct?
That was probably an interesting feeling to just that hang time for Spencer for a minute.
Not the place I'd like to be, that's for sure. I'm glad that our drivers put on a show for us. There it is. Very nice.
Hey, better to be hanging there and pointing downhill than be rolling backwards. So that worked out in his favor.
Always agree with you. Now, this is the dirt climb where you've really got to just basically push it all the way from the bottom to the top.
Go, 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 go! Nice! Hey, that worked. And onward to the Yukon wall.
Man, those tires he's running are hooking.
Tell us about his tires, Jesse.
They're just good old Super Grip ATV K9 tires. I like those. Those are my tire choice. That's why I say that. But in the loose dirt like that, they just dig it out and let it eat.
All right, now this spot obviously requiring
so you can see
a great deal of finesse.
Let me make sure you can see it here on the live feed. So the way that they're going is they're going far right, and there's that big lift that they've got to.
Nice.
They basically have to hook the chassis on that concrete block and let it swing around. But Spencer Grindstaff finishes Hill 2 for the UTV Bounty Cup, or excuse me, Bounty Series.
153.804 for Spencer Grindstaff.
Still trying to fight the wasp gang out here, so
I know, I can see its shadow.
If you hear a brief pause, we're probably fighting some insects here. But Danger Dan, he got that tie rod fixed and he's back on course now. I think Dan's gonna take the slow and steady. Consistent run here is gonna be the winner.
Nice. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right?
That's right. And Dan's running the same tires that Spencer just ran, so we should see something. You know, Dan commits all.
We don't call him Danger Dan for nothing.
Yeah, he is. It is always full commitment, only full commitment, and that's not what we want to see. Except
for that, what on earth?
So he backed into the berm and flipped over. That is unfortunate, and I know that Dan is extremely frustrated with what happened right there.
Oh, I feel for him.
All right, so we are coming back to us here, getting a quick look at our pit area or pit resting area. We have a temporary space for drivers while they're not racing or if they've already run. Place for drivers to come and watch the race. But I can tell you right now, Dan Carter is kicking himself for that one because basically he missed
I hate it for him.
He missed the turn and he was backing up to get lined up to get all the momentum he could. But while he was backing up, it could be that he thought he was in drive and was actually still in reverse, but just went a little too far and flipped himself over. So Dan Carter will have a DNF for both Hills 1 and 2. So how's the live feed going? Can you see how beautiful it is here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee? It's awesome out here. Loving this weather.
Jesse finally ditched the hoodie, so that's got to mean good things out here,
for the first time this weekend, I'm showing a little skin.
All right, guys. Where's everybody watching from? It's about that time. Is anybody planning on making it out to any races in person the rest of the season? Do you have one in mind already that you're going to try and make it to? And if you're wondering about the rest of the schedule for the year, you can head to nationalrockracing.com, and that's got all the info for the season. There's more than just the schedule on there. The website has lots of fun stuff like driver profiles where you can go and find out more about all of our season drivers and their vehicles, and a nice little write-up on each of them. There's some merch on there.
A little bit more about the people behind the camera.
Yeah.
Bree and I are the only ones you guys see. We've got 2 in the production trailer right now, and probably 15 out on course, including Clyde.
Our group is growing.
It is. You know, it's crazy. Our group is growing, and we are still so undermanned. I think about it all the time about how much every single person.
There's a lot of multitasking out here.
That's right. If you ask my wife, I can't multitask, so that's why I focus on one thing, and that would be talking to you guys. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. because without you guys
sponsoring us with your presence.
That's what I meant.
Online.
You know, without you guys watching, this the show means nothing. So
we got let's see here, London, Kentucky, Illinois. Sam Ball says he'll be at Rush next weekend, and Visions. Bebo's in Friendsville, Tennessee. We got Oregon. Neil plans to be at Kentucky. Charles is going to Oklahoma. Don's watching from Windrock.
That's cool.
Wyatt Wilson says he'll see me next weekend, so he'll be at Rush. Awesome, guys.
So I've got Clock is Hot for our next driver here. That is Jerry Gray.
Uh-oh. No, Jerry.
So I'm going to bet that Jerry had some issue with his buggy, potentially a front diff or something like that.
The way that he eased off both the starting line ledge and obviously this little obstacle right here.
Now, if
there was some preservation attempts.
If you are broken, hey, hang on.
Wade, if you want a time, you have to come talk to us.
Hang on one sec. Of course, whenever in this race series, if you break the beam and you make forward progress, you get points. But we'll get Mr. Jerry Gray off the race course here as we get him kind of turned around. Up in the production booth, we've got Mr. Wade Good.
Dude, putting on a show.
I don't know what I did. It was terrible.
You turn left a lot up there.
Yeah, it turns really good left.
How's it turn right?
I don't know. Just hold it.
What was going through your head every time you had to turn back downhill again?
That was a long way from the top to the bottom.
That was a long ways, that one, yeah.
When you came back down and you're looking at the Yukon wall from the top, that drop off there that's dirt, that's pretty serious.
Oh, you can't see. You don't know where I just dropped off and stayed in the gas, so keep pulling.
You did great. And also, I think on this dirt hill, you're the only person I've seen so far take that really far right line.
Yeah.
It looks like that's obviously going to be the fastest line for the day.
Yeah.
But up there at the very top, we can't exactly see what goes on up there. It looks like you've really got to hook it around that concrete block. What's it look like up there?
Yeah, it's like a ravine, and then it's like a 4 foot by 2 foot big block all the way across.
Hold that up to you.
And you have to, well, UTV, big bouncers will just go right over it, but a UTV, you got to hook around it. But when you go to hook around it, there's a big mound that my tire kept hitting.
Yeah.
Shoot me.
Yeah.
I was a little too excited. If I would have just slowed down like the last time, I would have been all right.
I can tell the fourth time you got up there, you slowed down, you looked at it for a second.
Pushing my luck now, I need to slow down.
Yeah, so, I mean, it just is a testament to your parts, though.
Oh,
yeah. You can take 4 stabs at that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I did see your teammate over here, Mr. Chris Hickman. He was doing all kinds of different things, been out of shape, and then he's happy, and then he's excited for you, and then he's trying to tell you something, and next thing you know, you're out the top. So,
You get the best parts, you can do something.
That's right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Wade Good. Appreciate you very much, brother.
Yeah.
All right, so we have officially moved on to
Yeah, if you
Hill
can't tell,
2.
we switched classes.
Yes, we are moving into our Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup right off the line. This is, I believe, Danny Smith. Should be Danny Smith right now.
All right.
Wow.
There it is.
I gotta say, if you didn't see it on the live feed there, the beautiful use of rear steer right at the perfect time with the perfect amount. Danny is one of those guys that gets up there, looks at the hills, does, not necessarily pre-running, but he's got a ton of seat time in his machine. That delicate touch of rear steer is what stopped him from coming to a complete stop up there. Danny Smith, heck of a run.
57.842 for Danny.
So that was almost a full 30 seconds faster than his Hill 1 time. And Hill 2 is, it's a little bit of a faster course, but that was quick. On the line here, Mr. Tim Cameron. Tim, obviously a legend in our sport, is looking to come out early and make a good stab. So TC following
that Franklin flutter.
Yeah, that Danny Smith line there. One thing that I noticed I'm curious if we're going to see bouncers do it. TC checked up on the Yukon wall pretty noticeably. I mean, he was off the throttle for almost 2 seconds before he hit that wall and really gave it the pepper right as he shot up the top.
48.234.
Boy, oh boy, that is fast.
That's going to be a hard time to beat. Yeah, Danny had a 57. Timmy just laid down a 48.
48.234.
234.
Wow. Yeah, that's quick. Now, I will tell you this. We only had 11 drivers finish Hill 1 in the UTV, or excuse me, in the Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup class. Man, I'm tripping all over my words here. I'm getting all excited. It's a great day of racing here. But only 11 cars finished. Now, what that means is if a driver finishes Hills 1 and 2, they're going to automatically be ahead of anybody that did not finish Hill 1. So, 2 times are always going to be better than 1.
All right, and this is Chris Wendell in the smoked out buggy. Chris did finish Hill 1.
He had a time of 103.
And he had quite the cheering section over here in our crowd of spectators. Nice. Decided to head straight up the middle.
I was wondering if we were going to see that line, and I think drivers later on this afternoon are going to be able to take it straight, but you're definitely going to have to kind of hook and pull a little bit here.
That dirt is so loose and chewed up in that giant crater right now. Once some of that gets blasted out of there, though, definitely going to make a difference later on in the field.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, decided to take the little longer route, but it's working for him.
Like I say, that one's giving you the thunder from down under.
Nice.
All right, so as we come back with Chris's time here just in a second, we have Danny Smith up at the production trailer. Danny, the line you took didn't seem, it wasn't the clearest thing, but I tell you what, it was fast. How did it go? Did you see that line?
Let me say real quick that Chris had a time of 1:06.133 for inquiring minds.
Perfect. All right, Danny, tell us about that line, about that whole run. What'd you think?
Honestly, the line was intentionally planned the whole run through. I was a little bit further right than I wanted to be. I actually wanted to be kind of where the grass is hanging off the ledge up there and kind of straddle that, but it started going right fast, so I just grabbed the rear steer and poked through the mess and laid on the ground, and it worked out. Congrats to Tim Cameron for a faster run. He's always on point. Heck, got a lot more motor, so.
Let me tell you this, man. I noticed that little bit of rear steer that you had. Yeah, beautiful. How much rear steer practice do you have? Because a lot of guys use it the wrong times, use too much of it. It was like the most delicate and perfectly timed use of it.
Honestly, the very first buggy we had, Nick Kortenberg bought me, was old yellow. It had rear steer. It worked half the time it didn't. I didn't use it much, but I have a little Toyota buggy at home that's rear steer. And we outrun racers through the woods in that thing just because I can make turns that they can't make with the rear steer. But it's actually 2 steering wheels.
Oh.
The second one's on the speed knob.
Oh.
But it's the same principle. You want to go right with the rear,
That's
you
trippy.
just push the lever to the knob.
Wow.
All right, and this is Jess Reed and Dorothy.
I enjoy seeing the new competition.
I do too. And now, can you tell me what kind of motor, what kind of setup is that? Because that is a deep, deep sound coming out of that machine.
If I had to guess, it's probably a 3.8 diesel motor.
Here we go.
There it is.
I'm gonna find me something to drink. Thank y'all.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming up here. So Dorothy is out here making those red boots click. I'll tell you this, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're at Bikini Bottom.
Oh,
Like I said, that line's not there yet. I think it'll be here probably after this run right here. If it looks like he's going to take one more stab at it, it just needs a little bit of clearing off. And hearing that engine reverberate through the woods in the hills here, it's crazy. About a full second later, you'll get the call back from the engine. Now that's the first driver we've seen try and take that right side line. Both Danny and Tim, they just hugged the left side and it threw them back to the right in the middle. Was where they ended up. But
yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to crawl up like that.
Yeah, the UTV line might not be it for the bouncers.
There it is.
Out of the top.
162.891 for Jess Reed. All right, Jay Stortz is on the line.
That was 162.891.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For Mr. Jess Reed.
You got
All
it.
right. Jay Stortz on the line, showstopper.
All right, it's time for Jay Stortz. Like a showstopper, buddy. Making a break, making a together. Y'all never seen the show race, running watch.
Zach.
Farthest point in the course so far for Mr. Jay Stortz. So a little bit of a different strategy to wait until the very end to launch it up the top. I like it. That's not where you want your nap, but
dang it!
It looks like he's nice and stuck. So
yeah, he is. It was a nice gentle rollover.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about Showstopper is it's got really pronounced tree kickers. So those tree kickers actually, in a situation like this, they'll dig into the dirt because the way that they work is they're like a big triangle, right? And the part that sticks out on the side, it's really exposed, so it digs it in the dirt, kind of gives it like a hook into the dirt. So that's probably what's up there keeping him from sliding down any further. But unfortunately, another DNF for Mr. Jay Stortz. A little bit of a rough weekend, but we're happy to have him out here putting on a show for all of us.
Will Scruggs. Please report to the starting line. Will Scruggs.
All right, we are only 5 drivers in to Hill 2 for our Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup. We completed Hills 1 and 2 for a UTV bounty.
We got 4 out of 5 times. That's impressive. I'm happy about that. Now, I want to say, while we've got just a few seconds of downtime here, earlier in the first stream, we showed you guys a picture of the Addictive Photography West Keene posters. Now, what those are is Addictive Photography, Mr. Bub Meadows has made a really nice collage of some action shots of Mr. West Keene. The poster has actually been put in the merchandise trailer for now, for those who want to pick one up here locally. But if you visit the Addictive Photography Facebook page, what Bub is actually doing is he is selling these posters, and 100% of the proceeds is going to West Keene for his recovery efforts. Excuse me. So glad to have them. A ton of money has been raised in support for that, for Wes, his family, his children. So excited and so encouraged to see those teams come in and just love on those guys.
Yeah,
so,
and there's so many people coming together. I know there's a T-shirt fundraiser and wristbands and the posters and GoFundMe, and it's just awesome to see everybody wants to help somehow, and just finding a way to support Wes and his family.
All right, now I'll tell you this: we have a lot of spectators out here today. This is just one quick shot of our spectator. That is our spectator.
Everybody's gonna have nightmares now
of our spectator area. A very good turnout, considering today was supposed to be thunderstorms. Today was supposed to be wet, rain, all that kind of fun stuff. Glad to have all of us here in the spectator area, in the pits, and everyone out joining us today. If you've never been to Bikini Bottom Off-Road Park, it's pretty cool because it's stadium style seating. You see that they've got
spectator friendly.
They've got pavilions back there. There's actually bleachers over here in the pits they've got set up, and then you get to look at all the action on one side of the hill. The action is never out of view for a spectator here at Bikini Bottoms.
You're not wrong, Jesse.
That's right.
You're not wrong.
And we're getting a little bit more of that cloud coverage come back in. Can't decide if it wants to be hot or cold today.
It is, it's on and off like crazy today, but it's not raining, so.
That's right. That is absolutely
right. It feels
right.
great out here. And if you guys are just jumping in on the show, wondering what's going on, this is the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series #1, third race overall for the season so far, presented by PRP Seats this weekend. We are a couple drivers in on Hill 2 for the Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup. And we completed our UTV Bounty Hills 1 and 2 already for the day. And then we had RC during the break in between. So full day racing.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment.
What you want? No matter where your ride takes you. Whether it's a quick trip or a slow climb. When you choose RCV Performance Axles, you're guaranteed to finish every time.
All right, we are back from our commercial break.
That's fast. That's a short commercial.
Absolutely, just a real short one for RCV Performance. If you can't tell here, RCV Performance is not only a sponsor of our National Rock Racing Association, but Racing on the Rocks podcast that I work in, they sponsor my podcast as well. Just so happens to be the fact that I have all the swag that you can have from RCV. Did not plan on matching today, but I'm definitely Team RCV today.
Team RCV. It's a good team to be on.
Absolutely, the strongest axles on the planet. I would say 90% of the bouncers out here are running them. They'll make custom applications. So something I found out about RCV is their Dana 44, like stock Jeep, basically, a Jeep JK, JL. They offer a lifetime warranty on their axles. You break them and they'll just send you new ones.
Wow.
That's how confident they are in that axle. So really cool.
That tells you something.
I'm from the UTV world, where if you break an axle, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of part of the business. But unlimited axles is a pretty good deal. And that's, like I said, RCV Performance. Glad to have those guys on board. The strongest axles on the planet. I think
all right.
Perfect. So just one more quick run, and I'm going to ask Bree this time. Bree, would you like to cover our sponsors list? Because I will gladly not spill your drink this time.
Yeah, apparently I missed all of that earlier. Was the camera on you though?
Oh, it was. It was
Okay,
on me the
good,
entire time.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, so thank you. We always like to say, of course, to everybody that supports us, from the sponsors to the volunteers, racers and their families, and everyone that helps make this sport and this series what it is. Looking at our awesome, I'm going to pull this over here so we can get laser nut trophies. We've been showing these off quite a few times lately, but in case you missed it, these are works of art.
How could you not want to show this off? They're laser cut, bent, laser etched. It's really, really cool. And they're laser etched with all of our sponsors on there.
Yes, we've got Yukon Gear and Axle, and of course out here, it's not going to work. I can't point on camera. We have the Yukon wall, which is the concrete wall that everybody is tackling up today. We've got Spider Off-Road Performance Rad Flow Suspension, Raceline Wheels, CA Technologies, Laser Nut, of course, we mentioned, RCV, VisoneRV, who is helping bringing this weekend's race to us.
There's today's title sponsor.
PRP Seats, same thing. Venom Shifters, Mickey Thompson, Speed Strap, Rock Life Off-Road, Wildcat Off-Road Park, where we were 2 weekends ago, Holly, Go 4 Tires, and SCS Gearbox. So huge shout out to all of those guys for everything they do.
Absolutely.
For the drivers and the sport, the series, and everybody that doesn't get their name mentioned every time.
That's right. And I want to say something too. Most of the sponsors that we just listed, they're all parts on all these bouncers. You pretty much can't build a bouncer without using this list of people here. But while we're off, this is Mr. Will Scruggs, in an old TC buggy, and he's looking to make a statement here. I got a correction to the name. This driver is actually Jed Harper. My apologies, Jed. We'll clarify the name for this driver when we get new buggies, new machines. Our sheets get a little mixed every once in a while, but this driver is putting on a pretty good run here.
I'm pretty sure this is Jed Harper, though, because we talked about his buggy earlier.
I believe so.
It's a very, it's a TC looking machine.
It is a TC machine.
But I'm saying it's you can tell.
Yeah,
it's got
absolutely.
that style to
the
it.
iconic look,
Yes.
for sure. Look at that. You know, if you want to talk about being a consistent, conservative finish to get a time, Jed Harper right there.
88.940.
Now, he's
nice,
finished
smooth
both
run.
hills today, so that's a really
That's
big
a third
thing.
place time right now.
It's good stuff. I'm telling you, consistent, conservative will get you on the podium. The pollen is also in full swing here today, so as it starts to line up and as it starts to the day seem to continue on, if my voice starts to sound weird, if I can't breathe, the pollen is starting to really get in here with this wind. But Cash LaCroix is off the line in the stand back buggy, leading arm and trailing arm car. He had a great run for Hill 1 in this machine. I'm excited to see what he'll do here for Hill 2. There's a drive shaft out of that machine. Wow.
dropping drive shafts left and right out on this course today.
I don't think I've ever seen a drive shaft be ejected out of a buggy like that. It was that's probably a new feature that, you know, the ejecto drive shaft leads to the Bluetooth drive shaft. It's technology that's still in demand, but we're trying to get something figured out here. Glad that Cash, it looks like everything's going to be okay.
What a run he had going too.
Right, just a little soft layover there. Now, I got to hear from Tripp, and I think that Tripp said it on the live feed here recently, but that's the first time that Cash feels like he's really gotten to open up that buggy. Was on Hill 1, and he definitely did on Hill 2. Now, I just got to say this. The way that him, Danny Smith, and TC, they're both coming out there and they're sidestepping that hill. If you watch it, that sway bar is really holding that rear end together from flipping over. It takes a really finely tuned suspension, you know, not only the coilovers, not only the bypasses, but the sway bar is such an important part, because had they not had that dialed in perfectly, when they're sidestepping like that, the actual body will start to roll over, and that's what causes you to lay over on your side. But right there, a finely tuned suspension just kind of bunny hops it over, and he was up headed towards the top before that little nap.
Have you ever had a heavy backpack on and tripped and like leaned forward with it and had it drag you down?
That is exactly what these chassis do.
I've done that before.
Yes, certainly.
And that's exactly what I think of.
Yes, absolutely. Because once the weight starts going and you really start hopping,
you can't stop it.
Momentum is sometimes not your friend in this game. So good to see that Cash is getting him uprighted. And again, just in a little bit of a tight spot, but we've got a big excavator at the top of that hill. It looks like the Yukon wall is kind of smoothing out for us. It's being an awesome launch ramp.
You know, it's really I feel like the wall is not quite the terrifying obstacle that it used to be, and it's really just finishing the rest of the hill at this point.
I did find out some information that a couple years ago,
do tell.
when the wall was originally built, it was harder. After some discussion, I'll say some possibly heated discussions, things like that, the wall was the incline on the wall was actually laid back a little bit. So within the past few years, you probably noticed more drivers being able to complete the wall.
It's more ramp, less wall
at
this point.
Exactly. So definitely could call it the launch wall. But glad to have all of our people here. And I'm a big fan of, you know, it's still a giant ramp. It's not a small obstacle. You still have to hit it just right. So definitely not anything taken away from the current state of the ramp, but they're sending it to the moon when they get up there. That's for sure.
We need a name for the
top section.
Yeah.
Jeremy, would you like to name the top section?
We can't call it the Pez candy because that's what it looks like. We can't name it that.
Bree's suggestion is
the Lego
exit.
block. I don't know.
The Lego
All I
block
think of
exit.
is Pez and Legos when I look at those. Cement.
I agree with you. It's a very
blocks.
interesting look. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Either way, that exit point. That exit point seems to be not the place you want to be. We've just got an unofficial name and called it Drive Shaft Alley, as Cash's drive shaft was ejected out of that machine. So it looks like they're trying to get him turned over, but you know, possibly a little bit more breakage than just a drive shaft. Like I said, it's pretty rare you see a part just shoot out, you know, horizontal from a machine. There wasn't any flailing, you know, no sparks or anything. It just decided that it was done. It was
like, nope, I'm done.
I'm out.
We've got someone asking for the UTV rundown.
Sure.
Everybody was a DNF on Hill 1. On Hill 2, Paul Wolf had the fastest time, followed by Spencer Grindstaff, and then Wade Good. And those were our only times for UTV Bounty class for the day.
And their times, Paul Wolf was a 1:14, Spencer Grindstaff a 1:53, Wade Good a 2:29. Man, shout out to Spencer Grindstaff. That's not a name that we normally see on the podium. Again, younger guy. I think he's in the 16,
Is
17.
he the one that was at prom during Wildcat, and that's why he had somebody else racing for him?
Yeah, Spencer was at prom during Wildcat. So glad to have him back from prom, because he went out here, put on a show, and he's going to land a second place finish unofficially from our desk score chart.
Okay. I think Jackie got everybody covered as far as the rundown for Hill 1 for the bouncers right now. Sarah, as far as I know, let's see, we had 2 ejected drive shafts today. Jack?
It's a new installation. It's a new feature.
Jack and Cash both. Matt's drive shaft took out.
It was a little more angry than an ejection.
Yeah.
Broke the U joint in there, and then once it was coming back off, it decided to
punched a hole.
It let its presence be known.
Yeah.
Punched a hole right in the side of that transmission.
Yeah.
Broke the entire case, and it's a turbo 400 case, so they're a little bit more readily available than one of the top of the line cases, but that's not cheap. That's
still definitely a bummer.
Collateral damage.
Matt was not happy.
Right, and collateral damage seems to hurt worse, because if you break something when you're racing, I broke it when I was racing.
Right.
You break something when you're recovering.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurts.
That stings.
Because it seems like it could have been avoided. But I'll be honest, in the situation that Matt was in, I'm not sure that could have been avoided without taking 10 minutes to get that drive shaft out of there.
Has anyone else lost a drive shaft today? I'm trying to
Jack,
remember.
Cash,
Well, Jack
and
and
Matt.
Cash and Matt. Is that it?
I think that's
That's
it.
all I can think of.
But hopefully Cash will get the Bluetooth drive shaft figured out and then get him off the hill.
Morgan says that Spencer is a junior and he is 17.
Wow. Out driving numerous people. Numerous of the big names here. 17 years old. It's kind of crazy. As the day has gone on, our spectator area has grown and grown and grown. We've got drivers sitting on the far
Can we
end,
get
not
another
drivers.
spectator shot?
But
right after this commercial.
Sounds good. All right, and we are back. We are actually going to take a look at our spectator area once again. Like I said, as the day has continued to go on, we kind of gave that invitation out that the weather was not as bad as it was supposed to be. People have showed up in droves.
If you build it, they will come.
And they have. There is our full spectator area. We see it's grown quite a bit. A lot of those at-home watchers decided to come out and join us for an afternoon of racing. So I think it's probably a fair time to go ahead and do a quick roundup.
And I was just going to say, Sean, we don't have the RC results up here. We would need Nick or Curtis for that. I'm sure they will be posted by those guys at some point. Or we'll try and get them up there. As far as Steven Rogers, I don't know what happened to him.
I think he's going to college. I think he's taking just a little bit of time off. It's hard to do it, the commute back and forth from home, college, shop, all that kind of fun stuff. I think Steven's probably just taking a little bit of time.
All right, you giving us a rundown?
Yep, I am working on the scoring here. Apologize.
How is there still dust out here? All right, still working on getting Cash off the hill. He is back on all four. Jesse's getting us sorted, and then we'll give us a rundown real quick.
All right, so it looks like currently in first place we have Mr. Tim Cameron with a 48.234. And in second place, we have Mr. Danny Smith with a 57.842. And third place, Mr. Jed Harper with an 88.94. Top 3 is looking good. Top 3 is Tim Cameron, Danny Smith, and Jed Harper.
We might as well go ahead and say Chris Winchell is fourth right now with a 106, and Jess Reed fifth with a 162. Did you already say that?
No, I did not.
Okay.
That was good.
Those are the only 5 times we have at this point. All right.
The days get long out here, folks. They're enjoying our afternoon of racing, and we're probably just a quarter of the way through our Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup.
Pretty much. Well, we might have a couple broken buggies out there.
That's true, actually.
Might have whittled down the pack a little bit here, but close to it. All right. What else should we talk about? Somebody mentioned that they were going to be out at Visions this summer. How many of you guys plan on being out at Visions in July? Let's see. Let me get
Visions
the
is
dates.
a week long.
Visions will be. Well, I don't have it on that page. I got it
Visions will be
somewhere.
a week-long race, basically the 17th through the 24th of
There you go.
July. Very nice. Just to make sure, I want to make sure I said that right. Basically, Ultra 4 is coming out, Pro Rock's coming out, National Rock Racing Association is coming out. I know that there's going to be some .1 off-road guys coming out.
There is going to be
everybody.
Everything. I've got the itinerary that
please,
was on the
run us through it.
website. I'm assuming things could have been updated since then. This was a few weeks ago. I got it off. But Friday, July 16th, they have as check-in day. And then Saturday, cruise to town. They got permission for like a ride into town with the off-road vehicles.
That is Jay,
Again,
Oklahoma.
anything I say, take it with a grain of salt. Things could have been changed or updated. But it says barbecue competition, car show, live music. UTVs will be allowed to drive out of the park and into town under some rules and some time limits. Sunday, the first of 8 featured race classes battle it out for the big money. Extreme Enduro and mega trucks and a professional motocross stunt show. That's all happening on Sunday. Monday,
I bet we could see DC Thompson out there in that one.
we should sign him up for
We'll
it.
sign him up without him knowing, and just he'll run it. No
Yeah.
need for prep.
Monday, they have a daytime poker run. Special treat incorporating event vendors. They'll have some prizes, stuff that gets the adults and the kids involved. Monday night's activity is professional bull riding. I think we have a couple drivers we could probably sign up for that too.
We're still missing. There's a suggestion from one of our producers, which we'll forward to Mid-America, but we're still missing our drivers list for bull riding. So I'm curious to know who's going to be
at
on
the next
on the
drivers
bull.
meeting. We'll ask who wants to sign up for that. Tuesday is when we've got the Rock Bouncers and UTV hill climb. Tuesday night drag strip. They've got a legit drag strip.
It's an off-road drag strip.
Yes, off-road. It's got the light tree and it's legit. Up behind the shop there. Wednesday, Rock Bouncers and UTVs. The final hills for both of those classes. They're gonna have a cornhole tournament Wednesday night. Thursday, they're going to have the Pro Turbo class on the short course. Thursday night, a National Act live music concert. I've heard some names thrown around about who will be there for music, but I don't know who it'll be settled on.
They're big names too.
Yeah, some big names. Friday is the 4400 Ultra 4 and UTV cars on the endurance course.
Almost there.
Saturday, Rock Bouncers and UTVs on the knockout hills. And Dad and the Avenger are signed up for some knockout racing. So we'll see what happens between now and July with the buggy.
Knockout racing is a whole different beast than what we normally do here. Open tire, open wheel racing, where you're going to have contact with each other.
Yeah.
Knockout racing is an appropriate name.
It's intense. Saturday night, they're going to have more monster trucks, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more going on. That's just a quick rundown of the week's itinerary. So, again, that's in July. I'm sure a lot could probably change between now and then, and with scheduling and everything, but put it on your calendars if you can, something to look forward to. Obviously a special event, something we haven't seen before in this way, or with this combination of series and events.
I'll say this: if you have not seen knockout racing, got to go online. YouTube it. It's really something special. I'm excited to see that Knockout Racing will be making its return.
It's definitely a little more intense to watch. I
would imagine.
And to race in. I haven't done one myself, but
I'm not sure that I would. You know, when a wheel that's spinning meets another wheel that's spinning, something goes flying, and it's normally a machine.
Yeah, we have some stories from Dad competing in some of them over the years.
Now we can see that Cash has been pulled off the course here. We're getting everybody off the hill. We'll have a course clear here shortly, and we'll get back to racing.
Ain't that right, Garion?
One of the really cool things about Bikini Bottoms, excuse me, I always forget the S because I told my daughter I was going to Bikini Bottom this weekend. We've been watching SpongeBob here recently, and she about lost her mind, thinking I was going, somewhere where good old SpongeBob is, or Mr. Krabs, or what have you. So, but one of the cool things about Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park is that handy dandy zip line up there. I haven't seen it in action while we've been here this weekend, but I do know that is one of the longest zip lines in the country. Very exciting stuff. Cool stuff. Wish it was open. I'd love to do it. Take a quick ride through the woods, but it looks like we are going to be back to racing here in just a few moments.
Neil, if you are looking for SRRS merch, if that's the t-shirts you're referring to, you can go to nationalrockracing.com and find some of that swag there.
Absolutely. And if you're on Facebook already, feel free to go to the National Rock Racing Association, the Southern, Central, or Northern Rock Racing Series. There's 3 separate pages. Go to any of those, and all of them have links back to that website or back to the store, so you can find exactly what you want to find. Some cool things, I've seen driver t-shirts today, walking around, some kids with driver t-shirts, and they are signed by the very driver they have on there. So really cool stuff, very Monster Jam vibes to come out here, see these guys do this crazy stuff, and then just walk a few feet over and get a chance to talk to them, see how they're doing, and get an autograph. So always a cool time out here.
And we have driver cards here as well. I don't know if those are available on the website. I haven't checked. They may or may not be there for sure here at the events in the merch trailer. Each of our seasoned drivers has a card made up that's got, their name, picture, buggy, specs on there. So just like a fun little souvenir, You
Absolutely.
could get it signed. The kids love getting a chance to go talk to the drivers after watching them pull all these crazy stunts out here.
As we are getting back to racing here, I'm having a feeling that we've almost got the course clear. We've almost got our next driver lined up here. I just want to remind you guys, this is the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats. This is our makeup race for the canceled race in Texas. In 2 weeks, we'll be at Mid-America for the Central Rock Racing Series, race number 2. And it is starting to get toasty with that sun coming out here. I'm going to develop, if you didn't hear us talk about it yesterday, I got a nice sunburn on my right side when we were at Wildcat. Today it'll be the left, and we'll balance out. It'll be the perfect balance of burnt and tan. And we'll be nice and balanced, because my wife picked on me for a good solid week about having a definitive tan line right down the back of my neck, and I had a farmer's tan too. So
oh, man.
Hopefully we can get that worked out.
All right, guys, you are watching the VisoneRV CRRS number 1, presented by PRP Seats. We are in the middle of the Branik Motorsports Bouncer Cup Hill 2. I'm not sure who's on the starting line right now. We can't see it from where we're sitting. We will all find out together shortly. But we've got looks like a clear course. Definitely got Cash out of there. I hear motors starting up. I think we'll be ready to rock and roll pretty soon. Sarah, that's a good question. I thought it was .com. Could be .rocks. Could be both. Try and see if it works. I think the Facebook page has that info on there as well.
Randall Key on the line.
Randall Key is on the line. He butchered a rear tire on Hill 1. They got that fixed, and also, let's see, rear steer had to be hot wired up. I know they were doing all that during our lunch break. So glad to see he was able to get everything fixed up after Hill 1 and come back out. Would love to see him out the finish line today, get himself a time. There he is. Bobby, the first one on the scene as usual. We'll get the track hoe over there. Man, I would have loved to see Randall get himself a time.
All right. Man, what a good day of racing. And one of the things that I always like to bring up while we're here at Bikini Bottom is the different sections of terrain. Obviously, Randall, he just flopped over on the dirt section. We have rock sections, concrete, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That dirt, when you roll over, it's like, you know, imagine if you were in like a strapped-in roller coaster ride and it just went this way just a little bit more. One of the really cool things is that dirt is so soft, very forgiving. It's just like laying over, taking a nap. Now, the important thing is getting Randall out of that machine. Because of the harnesses and everything, you want to make sure that he's supported coming out, all that kind of fun stuff. A little bit of a different situation with Mr. Key, but looks like everything's going to turn out good for him. We're going to get him uprighted, flipped over off the race course, and I'm glad if you're going to flip in one place, that would be the place I'd like to do it.
That's a good soft spot to lay a buggy over out here.
Absolutely. Then you just got to worry about, you know, pulling a vampire trick and hanging upside down for a few minutes. So I don't know about you, if I'm upside down for a few seconds, I'm like, whoo, the blood pressure starts going up.
It's an interesting feeling for sure.
It is definitely. But glad to have Bobby Tanner, man. I just can't get over just the character of that guy. So absolutely putting himself last and others first every single time he's out here racing. He's an exemplary example of character. He is exemplary character. There it is.
There's a reason Bobby is so beloved.
Absolutely.
In the rock bouncing world, in his world in general.
I remember the days when the Tanner family was, I mean, they're one of the originators of rock bouncing it all goes. But every
rock
single Tanner,
royalty.
Right, every single Tanner used to race. Yet Shelby, Ethan, Bobby, they were all out, you know,
Jordan.
Tons of weekends. You know, it's the famous videos of Wheeling in the Country. It's which Wheeling in the Country videos are a hoot, y'all. Y'all got to go back, watch those on YouTube. The best thing that you can do is go to a Busted Knuckle, go to a Mad Ram on YouTube, or go back to the old Southern Rock stuff when we first started filming, and instead of, you know, go click on all the videos and then sort it by the oldest ones first. So you get to see the first videos and you get to see all the racing done here today, and then you get to go back and watch how it used to be. Guys, things have changed so much. First off, we have unlimited amounts of power now. Amazing. But probably the most noticeable difference is suspension. Not a lot of bounce in these rock bouncing, but Fable Hill has definitely put the bounce back in it today, but the suspension is absolutely amazing. Machines back in the old day, Cable Hill, when it very first started getting hit by rock bouncers, it was a jarring experience, whereas today you're seeing guys kind of skip across the top like a rock on water. It was a very different situation back then, and we can thank that to companies like Radflow, the official shock of the National Rock Racing Association, helping smooth us out, keep us floating and level.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of those old videos too.
It's one of my favorite things.
It's one of those things where you're like, it happens so gradually that you don't really notice until you go back and watch it again.
Absolutely.
It's like if you're waiting for your hair to grow out or something.
Yeah,
it happens so gradually, but when you go back and look at pictures, you're like, whoa.
That's right. One day it's grown. Same thing with hair loss. One day you wake up and you're bald.
Oh no.
It's funny. No, I joke. I kid. It's funny. I know that there's a lot of people out there watching, and I'm not the only one. I'll say it like that. So, good times out here always. it's so good because our spectators are out here just hanging out. I'm looking at the live feed camera through the trailer here. It looks like Mr. Randall Key's buggy is flipped over. Perfect view there. They're doing some excellent recovery there. Really cool angle of how rear steer comes into play here. You know, it really throws that whole rear end around. Is it supposed to be like that right now? Potentially not, but I can tell you that rear steer, like we saw with Danny Smith earlier, can just make an absolute world of difference.
And everybody that you see on that hill, except for awesome Bill Blaisdell
Yes,
in
correct.
his green shirt. All 4 of those other guys are drivers, y'all. But they are up there
I gotta hand it to
lending
Matt
a
Holt.
hand.
I gotta hand it to Matt Holt. Has a fire aid in one hand and had the Fire Bull, you know, big can right behind him. He was right there on the hill with him. Matt's always on the hill, does an awesome job supporting the other racers. And man, just I like that guy a lot, man. A good character there too. Bill, one of the most humble guys I think I've ever met, puts these flags up, helps designate every bit of equipment, the start line, the satellites to bring you guys the live feed. Bill does so much work, and it's just a guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, and as much as we, have been talking about Bobby and when we love us some Bobby Tanner, but just, everybody out here.
Absolutely.
Well, is so quick to jump in and lend a hand and do what needs to be done, either to help on the course or to help another driver. And that's really one of the things that sets our sport apart in a lot of ways from others, is that aspect of it. So
yeah, definitely. I know I interviewed a driver who came from the world of drag racing on my Racing on the Rocks podcast, and he said in the drag racing world and most of the other automotive world, it's cutthroat. You're trying to beat the other guys, and you're going to act like
you're not helping them work on their stuff.
You're not going to give them any bit of an advantage. And how many times do we see Tim Cameron? He got a flat on his buggy, and I don't know if you noticed, but he was running a wheel and tire setup that was not his own. That's probably from another racer. So even the guys that are at the very top, the guys are willing to help. It's a big team event out here, and always.
If somebody breaks on hill 1, you better believe they'll be willing to part out their buggy for somebody else that's got a chance to continue in the race.
You better believe it. So there it is, Mr. Randall Key making a full recovery back to all 4, and we'll get him and get the course cleared. I gotta say that after that hairpin dirt turn, that big dirt climb right there, it's one of my favorite parts of today's course because you really get to see them open the horsepower gate wide open, let them eat, and the consequence for punishment, if it doesn't make it, it's very, very low. Very glad to see a big diverse group of obstacles here, diverse challenges, and I think our drivers are really, their skill sets being put on display today in a variety of ways.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit this morning, and how, we mentioned a lot how each park we go to has kind of its own personality, if you will, or, the aspects of it that we can utilize during a race that helps make each course and each race different. And obviously, Bikini Bottoms has Fable Hill. It has the concrete stairs. It's got stuff that no other park has that we race at. And to be able to utilize all of that and make a good long course and really just use every part of our racing arena that we're in right now and challenge these drivers, it's really fun to watch.
So there's Mr. Pike taking off
Fordzilla
2.0.
All right, now I talked to Jake a little bit during our intermission and asked. He was disappointed with Hill 1. He said he threw a belt off, and that's why he was struggling with his steering. His plan for the Yukon wall is to pin it from way back here and aim for Drive Shaft Alley. He wants to land all the way up the hill.
I like that.
Now, maybe his plan has changed a little since watching other drivers. I don't know. We're about to find out.
I don't think so. The terrain just threw him right where he needed to go, though. I think he needed just a couple more horses to get up and really launch over that wall. You know, even a more conservative run like that one right there, it still gives you goosebumps because you realize how tall that hill is and just how much power comes out of that machine.
67.627 for Jake Pike.
Should put him in third place.
That's a third place time right now. Will Scruggs is on the line now.
Better this time.
Much better.
Definitely better this time.
You know that felt better too. Oh, all right.
It's gonna dig it out. I can feel it. No, just
up
walked
and over.
it. Wow. Now you can see that some of that fill dirt's coming in and kind of making that ledge not so ledgy anymore. That's a technical term.
Not such a ledgy ledge. Uh-oh. Speaking of ledges, though, I think he's going to need a little more. A little more oomph for this one. That's also a technical term.
Old rock bouncer technical term is called whoop-pow.
There you go.
Come on, baby.
All right, here it comes.
Stay with it.
Oh, nice.
That is a big old engine in there. Like, just physically big engine wrapped in that buggy. Ooh. If I were Jake Pike, I would probably not be behind that tree.
You better stay behind that tree, Drake.
I would probably, yeah, either stay behind the tree or get out of there completely. But back to us here. Congratulations to Will Scruggs for his first finish of the day. Excellent work. But yeah, it definitely sounded like that engine was starving a little bit for either some air or some fuel. But as soon as he held in it, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Out the top. Sounds like I can already hear the next driver on the list.
That one did. I mean, I heard you then.
135.883. 135.883.
135.883.
So, Mr. Menace leaving the line. Man, that machine is loud. Brandon Davis in the Menace buggy.
There you go, Brandon.
A little bit of a different line there. Now, it's kind of funny, actually. I'm looking at Cheryl Brandon Davis's wife. She's got the walkie-talkie. She's in the spectator area, which is directly behind Brandon. I would imagine she's getting. Yep, I can hear her screaming, "Back up, back up."
Man, that buggy sounds mean. Looks like he decided to get on out of there while he could.
So Menace is a little longer wheelbase. It's IFS in the front, so you lose some of that front ground clearance. You know, I say front ground clearance, but really what I mean is the area where normally you'd have a solid axle and like a skid plate where the four links connect. There's a solid skid there because the front end is kind of all tied into the skid plate, and that hangs you up every time. Same thing we saw with Cash earlier in the UTV side.
There it is.
All right. That's really funny.
135.981.
135.981.
I have to say one of my favorite parts of that run right there was listening to Cheryl.
Watching Cheryl, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But Brandon Davis out the top gets a good time for this hill.
All
right, who's ready for the Krogh show?
It's going to be a good one. Mr. Krogh.
Ooh, look at that shot. He means business.
He had a killer time on Hill 1. Killer time on Hill 2, and he'll be sitting in a really nice spot for the end of the day.
Yes, Larry Krogh had a second place time on Hill 1. Right behind Tim Cameron. Back up. That was a rough bounce. Way to save it, Larry. Uh-oh. Clawing his way up that hill.
Clearing some of that fill dirt out.
Come on, Larry, you gotta make up some time right here. Let's go.
Nice.
Nice line.
There's a good line.
That's it.
Come on, Larry.
That's it.
Yeah.
Very nice from Mr. Krogh. Coming back to us here. That was a heck of a run right there.
64.043. That is a third place time right now. Nicely done.
Nice.
All right, we've got just 3 drivers left for the day. Jeff Roberts.
Now just a quick little rundown. That bumped out Jake Pike of the top 3. The top 3 as it sits right now for Hill 2 are Mr. Tim Cameron, Danny Smith, and now the Krogh Show.
And Jeff Roberts is now on the line.
The underdog buggy blowing some air back at us.
Oh, all right. He's got a chunk of the hillside with him.
That's an entertaining line.
Hit it like Larry Krogh.
Onto the Yukon wall.
Now there's an example where the obstacle kept him to the left and did not put him in the situation to keep going straight.
Ooh, he's taking the far right UTV line. And it works!
Lots of travel in those Radflow shocks.
9.485,
69.485. Not bad, not bad.
That's a good time. Now Jeff did have a DNF for hill number 1, but that's a really good time. In fact, for hill 2, that'll put him
That's
fifth place.
fifth?
Fifth place.
All right. Old Taz is on the line. John Campbell.
Yep, I can hear the whistling from the other side of the booth here. As the wind here really starts to pick up, if you can't see, our flags are flying. All of those beautiful flags cover all of our sponsors. So if you notice those and you need some parts, make sure to support those who support us. Now, John Allen Campbell is running on behalf of Scott Goforth, if my understanding is correct.
I believe so.
And he had a really solid time for hill number 1. You know, this buggy is the appropriate, like, quiet, loud, but I say that because it's quiet enough where you can hear that turbo or supercharger really sucking in a lot of air.
It's very distinct on Taz, for sure. Oh! I got a bugging Bronco out the top there.
Good run. Really, really good run for Mr. John Campbell. Man, that was entertaining.
56.642.
Told you it was fast. Let me do my calculations here, and I'll read you guys.
That's second place.
That is second place. That's for second place for hill 2.
Hill 2,
Let's
yeah.
phrase that first. These are not the combined scores where they'll end up placing for the day. The scores we're reading off right now are just for hill number 2.
Bubba Bacon.
I can hear that firing up on the other side of the trailer too. There's two machines that are that loud. I found out today, Charlie Brown Jr.
Holy cow!
That machine is loud.
Yes.
And the good old big block over there.
All right, Bubba is gonna wrap up our day here for us. Bubba Bacon in the big block at Bikini Bottoms. All the alliteration, all of it right there.
Clock
Here we go.
is hot.
Now watch this, we got Bubba Bacon. Bubba's been racing the same buggy for 8 years, and it gets nothing but better every time he runs it.
Right there.
That's a good run.
That's a really solid run to end our day here. This is going to be close. And the crowd falls silent. Everybody in this park just went completely silent.
5.6792 for Bubba.
All right. So I'm going to do one quick run through the fastest times on Hill 2. Our fastest time for Hill 2 was a 48-second run by Tim Cameron. In second place for Hill 2 is Mr. John Campbell, and then Bubba Bacon got the third fastest time. Now, let me say something. Between John Campbell and Bubba Bacon on Hill 2 right there, John Campbell got a 56.642. Bubba Bacon, a 56.792. So 1/10 of a second separating those guys, just a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and tally our scores here. All right, you ready for our end of day?
Let's hear it.
So, end of day scores. Again, this is the unofficial results. This is from hearsay. Don't hold us to it. We're going to make sure that all of the right scores get corroborated.
Is this just for Hill 2?
This is for the final.
This is for total.
This is for total for today. The totals for today, sitting in first place, no stranger to first place, Mr. Tim Cameron with a 104. In second place, this is close, you guys. In second place, Bubba Bacon with a 121.9. In third place, Larry Krogh with a 122.465. And then in fifth place with a 138, we got Mr. Danny Smith. So there's your top 5. Tim Cameron, Bubba Bacon, Larry Krogh, Danny Smith. Excuse me, I got one more for 5. Fifth place is Mr. John Campbell on behalf of Scott Goforth with a 149.043. So 50 seconds between first place and fifth place. That'll show you just exactly how hard it was. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run through all of the drivers that have a score for today. We had, let's see here, 11 drivers with no score for today.
Wow.
In the bouncer class. So pretty uncommon that happens, but here it is for the end of day final scoring list. First place, Tim Cameron, Bubba Bacon, Larry Krogh, Danny Smith, Scott Goforth, Mr. John Campbell, Jake Pike, Brandon Davis, Chris Winchell, Jed Harper, Jess Reed, Jeff Roberts, Cash LaCroix, Will Scruggs, and then we hit our DNF list. So there it is, everybody. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this beautiful day of racing.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us today, for, commenting, checking in online. It's so much more fun when we can interact with everybody at the races like this. So we will be live at the Pro Rock event at Rush next weekend, and then following that will be another NRRA event at Mid-America. So y'all stay tuned for all of that.
Absolutely. Now I'll give you an intermittent goodbye. I'll be back in May, and you guys will see a lot more Bree here. So Jesse Williams signing off.
All right, guys, I'm Bree Molitor. We'll see you soon.